In today's video, I'm going to be decorating eggs for Easter, but I'm not going to be using one of these classic egg decorating kits. I don't think so. As a creative, I have to be extra. I have to use like art supplies and felt and glue and go way out of control decorating these eggs. Originally, I wanted to do different art supplies for different eggs and just test them and do different designs and stuff, but then I just got really pumped about Posca Pens and felt, and things got out of control. I mean, the effort I put into, you'll see. Let's just on with the video. But first, we gotta blow some eggs. Yep. Yeah. Exactly what it sounds like. I had previously tested an alcohol marker on an egg, and I had just taken the egg out of the refrigerator. It got all hot and sweaty, and this made me realize I was going to have to blow the eggs out. If you've never done that before or never heard of it, basically what you do is you take something small and sharp to either side of an egg, make a small hole, and you blow out the contents. This was by far the most disgusting and least anticipated part of this process. I was so excited to decorate eggs, but when you take things out of the refrigerator, they get all sweaty. You can't put art supplies on them. Do I boil the egg? Then I would have to leave it out of the refrigerator and it might go bad, plus that I couldn't keep these forever. So the best option was to just empty out the shell, and it's so gross. Do you want a 30-second montage of me blowing the contents out of an egg? It's both disgusting and a little bit amusing. Oh yeah, that's disgusting. And for those of you concerned about waste, no worries. I use all of these eggs to eat because what else would you use them for? For breakfast, I scrambled up 2 eggs, put them on a hot dog bun, topped it with ketchup, and I'm calling this the Easter bun. Get it? Easter bunny? And for dinner, I made 2 quiches, and they were both delicious. Okay, now that I've proved my point that I don't waste, let's get to decorating some eggs because that's what we're all here for, right? Why not start off with something a little Easter related with a carrot egg? When I got into this project, I had to do some real hard thinking about objects that were egg-shaped, or at least somewhat egg-shaped. Thankfully, there are a lot of objects out there that are ovular? No. So it wasn't too hard to have a list of things that I wanted to create. Something I do a lot of, if you are new to my channel, is I like to sew felt plants, more specifically cacti, but a carrot wasn't going to be too different from what I usually make, so I started off by coloring the carrot orange as I do. Oh, and also I'm going to be using Posca Pens for all of my painting supplies. I was originally going to make this video into a using different art supplies, but then I just got so into the bold colors and easy to use aspect of Posca Pens, so that's what I ended up doing. Not to mention, if I was just going to use watercolors or alcohol markers or anything else, it was just going to be basically drawing on an egg, but I just got super into the idea of using felt and just going way too far into this egg decorating. So I gave this carrot egg a little bed of soil, a green top, and it was done. And oh my god, it is so cute. And while we are on the subject of plants, you know I had to make a cactus out of one of these eggs. It was a very easy, simple, and adorable idea, and I mean, cactus are part of my thing. This was one of the easier ones. I just painted it green all the way through and then went over it with some lighter Posca Pen to sort of help suggest that it had little bulbous cactusy shapes on it, and then went through with a yellow marker to add needles in my classic Kasey needle fashion. This egg was especially easy to cover the hole because all I had to do was make a flower and glue it on top. Some of the other eggs were a little more difficult. I had to try to get some air drying clay, and oh boy, it is not easy to do things in one day and not let things dry. The flower is pretty cute and simple, just a circle that is all shredded up with some sewing floss stuck in the middle to look like a flower, and that is my egg cactus. It's so cute, so simple, so adorable. I love it. For our next decorated egg, if you are not new to my channel, you probably think it might look a little familiar. I have a series of videos on my channel where I take Japanese snacks from this Tokyo treat box and I design characters based off of those snacks. Recently, I designed Easter bunnies and eggs to go along with them, and the little eggs were just these tiny little round corns, and it was just so cute I couldn't resist actually creating that with a real egg. Wow, so cute. How many times have I already said cute? So as usual, I started off by just painting the egg all yellow and then going through with different shades of yellow to help suggest that there are pieces of corn on it. Then I decided to go all out and create some soil for this stalk to be coming out of. Cut out some felt to wrap around a wire that, thankfully, because these eggs were just a shell, they were very light and I could just put them on some I think this is sculpting wire, not very strong, but thankfully the eggs were light. So I constructed my soil, wrapped some felt around a piece of wire, and thankfully when I blew these eggs out, I did some vertically, like I did a hole on the top and bottom of the egg, but I also did a couple of eggs where I blew them out through the sides. I had some idea of the things I wanted to create out of these eggs, and I knew that some of them I was going to need, or at least felt like it would be easier if there wasn't a hole on the end of it. So the leaves of this plant wrap right around the holes of the egg, hiding it nicely, and I also cut out a couple of felt pieces of corn just to give it a little bit of 3D-ness, and that is our over-the-top corn egg. And for our last plant-based egg, I thought it would be really cute to create a fruit from the egg. The carrot and corn turned out so dang adorable, and I was so tempted to just create a garden of eggs and vegetables and fruits, but I really had to do some variety, so later I will be doing some animals. But the egg was a nice little pear shape, and I thought it would be cute instead of just creating a fruit, I created a worm coming out of a pear. So I did my best to blend some green into yellow to represent a pear. I was really surprised to see that Posca Pens don't come in a vibrant lime green color. It's actually quite a dull light green color, so I was a little disappointed that my pear is kind of sad looking, but I blended it up, gave it some freckles, put a stem and leaf in the top. I put some air drying clay on the bottom of it so that it would stand up straight and not fall over, and I sewed a little worm guy. Poked a hole into that egg pear and stuck them in, and there is our pear egg with a worm. Next up, I had to do the most obvious one and create an ice cream cone. That white egg is just so white and round, like ice cream. Also, this was another inspiration from my Tokyo treat designs. I created an ice cream bunny and had little tiny round ice cream cone eggs. And although this one isn't quite as round and tiny and cute as the one I drew, I just couldn't resist just putting it on top of a waffle cone and making an ice cream out of it. But we had to make this ice cream just a little bit more exciting. We can't just put an egg on a cone and be done. So I sewed up some chocolate sauce to sit on top of the egg, and then I covered it in pastel sprinkles to keep it sort of Eastery. I guess Easter means pastel. I'm not the best sewer, but I think I do an okay job at trying to get things 3D, especially when it comes to round things, it gets a little awkward. Also, it was really awkward trying to glue things onto an egg. Thankfully, the glue was working really well throughout this project, but usually I like to sew things on, or just, especially when it comes to felt. I don't trust gluing felt. But I think I managed to make this ice cream cone look cute. I topped it with a little piece of felt cherry. Very simple, but I think it's effective. To finish, I lined the cone with some glue, stuck the egg in, and this ice cream egg was done. This next egg, I was quite proud of myself for the idea. I just think it's so perfect and adorable, and something about it just seems a little more different than the other ideas. So as you know, it's a balloon egg. Eggs are shaped so similar to balloons, but I think what makes this egg stand apart from the others is the way I have it propped up and standing up in the air, but you will see that later. First, I had to cover the balloon in paint, and I went with purple for some reason. I don't like purple, but I was really thinking this balloon needed to be purple for some reason. So I covered it in a coat of purple, and then I created a little balloon tie by just having a strip of felt and having the end a little bit bigger. I tied it into a knot to represent the end of a balloon, and oh my god, it's just so cute and perfect. It's just so satisfying when things turn out so perfect. Originally, I wanted to cover this balloon in lighter spots or stars, and my yellow marker just didn't seem like it wanted to be very opaque, unfortunately, so I went over with a red pen, and it doesn't look as cute. I don't know, yellow and purple, they're complements, and I just really wanted that, but it didn't happen, but that's fine. So where this egg really started to come together was the wire that held it up. I wanted the balloon to look like it was floating because it's a balloon, and a wire looks like a string, so I had this wire spiraling around from the ground up to the balloon, and the balloon or the egg sat right on top of the wire, and that is our balloon egg. Simple yet effective, I think, and so customizable. Okay, let's get into decorating some animal eggs, and nothing says Easter quite like a shark egg. But first, let me just show you a moment that happened far too often while creating these eggs. A near disaster. Oh my god. The egg is empty, it is just a shell, but I did drop a few of them as I created them, and it did create cracks. I didn't want to destroy them, obviously, and the point of dropping always happened after I had spent many minutes trying to get the air drying clay to sit in the hole of the egg, so I'd already plastered up the holes where the shark fins were going to go, and I did not want to drop this egg and have it just completely shatter, but thankfully, did you see those skills? I caught it. I mean, wow. Anyways, so let's talk about this shark. Originally, I was going to make this shark gray because sharks are gray, but then I thought, you know, this is Easter. You're supposed to be coloring these eggs and making them fun. So I made a blue shark because why not? It makes it more colorful and more fun. This shark is pretty silly looking. I made it so cartoony looking. The eyes are just goofy. The mouth is goofy. I gave it a gap in the teeth. And because, again, what says Easter more than gore? I just couldn't resist putting blood coming out of the shark's mouth and even a little bit on the fin later. And once again, I was really thankful that the glue was working so well because those fins just stuck right onto the egg and they have no trouble staying on. I can even lift up the shark by the fin and they don't even budge. In case you were wondering, I used China and glass cement for some reason. Don't know why I didn't just get craft glue. Anyways, there is our little shark. Okay, it is Easter, so we do have to create one of the most staple animals in the holiday. I could not resist creating a chick in an actual, real eggshell. I mean, it's so perfect. We have these empty eggshells. Of course, I had to create this adorable little handmade chick to go inside the eggshell. So let's create that little chick. I will be honest, originally I was thinking about making this little guy super bloody and gory, like popping out of it, blood everywhere, kind of weird looking, but also kind of cute looking. But then I created it and it was just so cute and innocent and perfect that I had to leave it. I know, I'm disappointed in myself too. Maybe next time. Next year I can make a whole bunch of Halloween themed Easter eggs or something. Anyways, so it was actually terrifying to add additional holes to this egg. Not only was cutting it in half and hoping the two halves I got were perfect terrifying, but then I had to go through and poke additional holes. It was very risky, but I think in the end it was worth it. The hardest part about this one was actually putting my fat sausage fingers into the egg and trying to get the chick inside of the egg and maneuver it around. My fingers kept pushing the shells out and it was falling apart and it was terrifying, but I did it. I also put some corn kernels in this eggshell just to keep it weighed down so it could actually sit up and not fall over. But you can still push it over. So So you know I had to save the worst for last, which is kind of unfortunate because the worst one was the most classic of all eggs, an Easter bunny egg. It just looks kind of weird and so many things were off about it. He's my dummy bunny. He's special. I thought making this one simple would make it cute, but maybe not. I put holes in its head to put the ears to make sure that they stood up, but the holes were super not centered or aligned together at all. Something I struggled throughout all of these eggs was actually symmetry for some reason, or just in general, drawing on eggs is really hard for me. It was a struggle. So this bunny is super lopsided and his face is kind of wonky and the ears are kind of wonky and the feet are kind of wonky. Though I have to say, when I glued the feet on and then lifted it up to see that those little feet were just there, it was the most adorable little thing. I kind of wish I made a cat now, but that's okay. We have our dummy bunny. He's stupid looking, but you know what? He's gonna give you chocolate this Easter, so don't make fun of him. And that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. I had so much fun going all out for these Easter eggs. Maybe you guys can get some inspiration. I'd love to see what you create. Feel free to share them on my Twitter or Instagram or whatever. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. And now a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons for all of their support. You guys are the best. If you want to be in the credits at the end of my videos, see secret sketches, coloring pages, early access, and more, check out my Patreon by clicking a link in the description. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Bye!